And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock, aka the coronation ceremony for the Liverpool Football Club. I am Josh Engleman. I am joined by Eric Lindquist. We got 4 games today. Knicks, Pistons, starting it off at 1 o'clock. Lakers, Minnesota at 3:30. Celtics, Magic, 7 o'clock. Definitely don't want to watch that one. Indy, Milwaukee, 9:30 late night hammer. We're gonna have some fun today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live, and follow us both on Twitter. Eric, what's up?
Not much. Congratulations. I haven't been concerned with soccer for a couple of years as a Man U fan, so like it hasn't even been in the forefront of my mind at any point. Congratulations. I'm happy for you for I don't know, the festivities ahead of you.
It's gonna be a good day. I cried a couple times already today, and it was nice.
My God.
I cried the entire ride home from Walgreens earlier today.
When are you going to go to an actual game? When are you going to head over there?
I thought I was going to get over there this year. It's hard because the NBA season's the same time, and I tend to do a lot of NBA work. But at some point in time, I'm going to carve out some time to get over there.
Yeah, you got to do that. It was definitely when I was like in 6th grade, we went to Man U. That was like my inception into it, like David Beckham and things that like actual raw, like wild stuff.
Yeah,
Sir Ferguson. I mean, my God, those are some unbelievable games, and got to see a guy thrown out through a window of a bar. So
nice.
that was enjoyable. Don't wear the wrong jersey in the wrong part of town. I think we learned that.
Or don't be in a bar with my dad in the late 70s. Apparently my dad did that to somebody once.
Oh, fantastic. That was nice. No, this was just me witnessing from a distance with my dad. And he goes, maybe we go down the other street. I was like, yeah, we probably should.
Well, it appears the joke's on my old man. He's paying for it now. Anyway, let's get to the Knicks.
Shit. Oh, what? Why? Why is your dad catching strays?
I don't know. He's up celebrating this Liverpool championship today.
Yeah, too. That's what he's doing for sure. Was he a Liverpool fan? Was that a true story?
He was. He appropriated my fandom like 6 or 7 years ago. It was a good time.
That's adorable. Okay. Oh, wow.
Knicks, easy team to talk about. They're basically the same team every night. They do have one little quirk for today. Mitchell Robinson is a game time decision. I think that makes you feel a little bit better about Cat if Mitchell Robinson can't play, but it's not for the reasons that I think most people would say, which is just like, okay, there's no other centers. He gets more minutes. If Cat's playing more at the 5, he gets more rebounding opportunities. The matchups look better for him. He's a better fantasy player the more minutes he plays at the 5. And if Mitchell Robinson isn't playing, that's going to mean Cat's playing most of his minutes at the 5. But look how balanced these guys are on DraftKings. Here are the ownership numbers for the starting 5. 17, 19, 20, 18, 19. They're all between 17 and 20. All of their optimal rates are pretty close, save for Josh Hart, who breaks free from the pack, ranks 3rd in our boom bust tool. Do you have a Nick you like the most? Because I kind of like them all the same.
Yeah, I like them quite a bit. I think Josh Hart is definitely the guy I like the most. I mean, you're talking about the rebounding portion of it too. Mitchell Robinson, 19.8% total rebound rate on the season, only 347 minutes. But Josh Hart, he's one of the best rebounding threes in the NBA. He has been for a long time, 14.7% rebound rate for him on the season. He'll get more opportunities as well. As you said, Cat at the 5 definitely makes some sense, and I'm sure he'll take a little bit of a boost up. Not that we need to worry that, Tibbs isn't going to play Cat a ton of minutes. There's been a little bit of overlap for the two of them on the floor together. What just happened?
We got another goal. 3-1, baby. This shit is over.
Just absolutely onions. But anyway, the rate doesn't change a ton for Josh Hart. It's like 0.3% up to 15% for him there. But overall, 1 fantasy point per minute player with no Mitchell Robinson on the floor. Just one less body where you could play that 4-5 Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson lineup, I suppose. So I think it kind of just buoys everybody a little bit. Like, who plays backup 5 here? Because like, what is even going on at the moment? Because like the Precious Achiuwa doesn't live anymore. Precious Achiuwa is not with us.
Now, okay, let's say if Mitchell Robinson's out, does Precious Achiuwa become a guy we want to click on for value?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because I think, during the regular season, that's kind of been the next thought for everything. He's now a flat 3K He's got power forward eligibility, but he hasn't seen the floor for a single second of this series. So obviously, does that make you feel good? No, he played 33 minutes against Brooklyn. I don't know what's going on there. Like, I don't know why that's the case, but Marion Beauchamp, I mean, you've got him for like 0.8 minutes. I would rather click on Precious Achiuwa, I think, than Marion, but I'm just curious, like, does Achiuwa end up being a guy who plays 8 minutes, or does he end up playing, 15, 16? It probably is dependent somewhat on Hart or Anunoby foul trouble if he somehow finds some surplus, but like,
yeah,
Precious Achiuwa could just be strict backup 5 for 8 minutes.
Yeah, he could get a backup center run and Towns plays the rest of it. They could very easily just play OG Anunoby at the 5 in this matchup. That will not be a problem at all. If OG Anunoby can guard Joel Embiid during the playoffs, I think he's going to be okay with Jalen Duren or Paul Reed. So
yeah, he's pretty good.
I don't think the impact will be too much there. If Mitchell Robinson's in, I'll have a couple shares. The minutes are there. The value's fine. The most I have of anybody is Josh Hart, but I just don't have like a specific takeaway from New York. I'm happy to have any one of the starters. They all kind of look the same. They all kind of do the same things. They all play big minutes. Like the Knicks are just the Knicks. They're the least interesting team to talk about because they just don't deviate. It's 40 minutes each of all of their starters, and you basically just don't pay attention to anybody else.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I feel the same way. Josh Hart, the guy that I'm getting to by far the most, though, just reran some stuff. I mean, his optimal percentage sitting a little bit higher. We've got him right around 20% ownership. Maybe that comes up a little bit once you get Mitchell Robinson news for everybody across the board, and then we can reevaluate. But as of right now, I've got north of 30% of him and everybody else sitting right in that 15% range, it looks like. How much cat are you getting to? Like, I have like no cat right now.
13.
Weird.
I had 13%. Okay. 8,600 feels like a great price tag, but his rates have just been down a lot now that Mitchell Robinson has been back. Or maybe it's something else. I'm not entirely sure, but the usage has been a little weird as of late. The rebounding is down considerably because of Mitchell Robinson now. So my guess is I end up with a bit more Towns if Mitchell Robinson gets ruled out in 20 minutes. And I'm guessing I end up in that like 15% range if he doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be also another minute or two you add to it. You're going to just like Cat's just going to look a little bit better. But the center position, there's that Jokic guy. He's pretty good.
He's decent.
He's pretty good. Like overall, you don't have to worry about him today, but it's freaking Giannis that we're looking at the most on this slate. Like we've had some weird slates where there's been different overlap on different things. And like for me today, Giannis is just awesome. Cade Cunningham also, which we'll get to on the other side of this game, looks awesome. As far as spend ups go, I mean, Cat just kind of ends up being a dude who exists in the world. 8,600 starting to get fun though. It's starting to get fun.
It's an oddly low price tag for a guy that isn't popping as much for me, but I'm more than 2xing Giannis right now. I'm getting to more Paolo Banchero right now than I am Karl Anthony Towns. So I'm finding it more difficult to get to him at just that center spot. But I certainly wouldn't mind it. We'll see what that ends up looking like in 20 minutes when we get the Mitchell Robinson news. Hopefully 20 minutes at least.
Yeah, fingers crossed for all involved.
Yeah, honestly. Let's talk through Detroit. You mentioned Cade. He's the number one guy in our boom bust tool right now. 37% optimal, 43% owned, 9,500, point guard only, and I have half the field of Cade. What are you doing with him?
Not half the field. I have him in, don't want to misspeak, favorite top 50 lineups. There we go. Yeah, I've got him in 48%. So that's a big number. I think he is live to play. I mean, we've got him projected. You've got him there 40 minutes today. I don't know what else I want to be getting to. Like Luka is sharing a floor. Like you can make the ownership case for like a lot of these guys. Like Luka is 6.5% owned. If you want to play Luka as your, differentiating piece, it's Luka Doncic. I'm not going to tell you otherwise, but we've got Banchero, who I think pretty clearly looks good. Maybe even a little bit underowned at the moment. I think Giannis just is my preferred spend up for anything if I'm going to be spending for anybody above, out of him and Luka. But like Cade is sitting at 9,500 with point guard eligibility. And I don't know. It's kind of a weird point guard slate now that you got both Tatum and Brown back. You don't really have Derek White or Pritchard or Drew or anything that really stands out to me there. Jaylen Brown's questionable. If he ends up sitting, obviously that would change that equation a little bit. But I think considering this is early on, like 9,500 for a guy who's going to play 40 minutes and is traditionally right around a 1.25, 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. I mean, this is just very, very nice to be walking into. So I'm curious why half the field on him there, considering, I mean, our data is a big fan. And I am finishing this up. Yeah, 46%. I can't get away from it no matter what I do. I just put him at like 39 change minutes and lowered his rates a little bit from what we have and still get to him a ton.
I think I'm paying down at guard and paying up more at forward because I'm 2xing Paolo and I'm 2xing Giannis. So I'm very heavy on the power forward payups. And then I've got a pretty big stand on Kevin Porter Jr. right now, which I legit hate. I got a lot of Gary Trent as well. And I think I'm filling up the guard spots a little bit more frequently with some of these low dollar guys. And that's pinching Cade. Because like I don't really have Luka. It's not getting soaked up by Ant. You know, I'm neutral on Halliburton. I'm neutral. I'm under on Brunson. I'm just light on all of these pay up guards, in particular, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. 26 minutes last game with Dame back and everything else going on. Oh, hello. Was that another goal?
No, I bumped the button on my stream deck and it shut off my ring light.
Oh, that's fun. It's hard for me to not look at everything on the Piston side as, you know, just Dennis Schroeder, Cade Cunningham. I really am not getting to a ton of anybody else. The Paul Reed thing makes sense as value for sure. Duran on the other side, I think is just, if this weren't the early game, I think I would be more inclined to get to more Duran, but it's just another lineup spot. It's not even necessarily that I have anything else that I'm waiting in the wings for that I want to be like jamming in that place, because I don't think center is like a smash by any means. Like our most popular center, Julius Randle, again on this slate power forward center. And then it's Duran basically. And it's like, I'd rather just kind of be light there and mix and match some other pieces later. And that's the same thing with KPJ. Like I'm not going to end up with like 42% KPJ like I have when it's at lock, I hope, but it's a great placeholder for now. Last game of the night. Like I have no problem getting to it. And, you know, he's played more minutes than I would have expected in this series than I think most people would have expected in this series. But shout out Gary Trent, the one true GOAT, for giving us the best late swap opportunity of the entire season. That last slate, I mean, nobody paid attention to starting lineup. 20% on Gary Trent in the main. Like these are good things, but now you're probably going to end up having Kevin Porter Jr., who shot the ball terrible and played, you know, mid 20s minutes. He's probably going to end up sub 20% no matter what. Whereas if a couple of those go down, we'd be talking about him being jammed today at 4,500 or at what is he, flat 4K today. So 4,500, Dennis Schroeder, the guy that I'm getting the second most on this team, Cade Cunningham first. And then it's really nobody else at the moment. I get the Asar Thompson thing. What the hell is Asar Thompson doing on the basketball floor in this series? It's been really tough to watch.
I think we're just seeing a young guy with no offensive ability struggle in a situation where the lights get a little bit brighter is really all, you know?
That's kind of the same thing going on with Amin, if we're being honest.
Sure.
Like Amin didn't really play all that well the last couple of games. So
yeah, I'm just light on this Pistons team. Schroeder's the only guy I'm neutral to. He's in 24% of my stuff. He's 24% owned. I guess technically I have some Paul Reed value at 3,300. I am not happy about that. Maybe the person that's working on our projections today can fix that bitch before this stuff gets posted at 1 o'clock.
What an idiot.
Just for the record, I'm not calling anybody out. It's me.
I was calling you out because you're an idiot.
Well, like, I don't know how to sift through Beasley, Hardaway, Harris, Asar Thompson. They're all 10% owned. I'm under on every single one of them. Do you like ancillary Pistons pieces today?
I mean, the Malik Beasley thing is hard because, you know, now he's sub 5K. He was 5,300, right, coming off of that nutso game one that he had. Ended up being in a losing proposition there, but 35 minutes for him there. It's just like, the usage has been there. He just goes 4 for 14, 2 for 10 from 3. They obviously want him out on the floor to some extent. Like, again, it helps him spread the floor. He's kind of a nuisance to some extent, but like, if it's not going down, I mean, the box score looks worse than it is the last two, because I think he still has like 30-minute upside. I still think there's a chance that you could walk into like evisceration and nobody really wants to play him anymore. Like, it's just one of those things that in theory I'm saying out loud, but I'm not actually doing anything about it. Currently have 2% of him in 50 lineups, but he's the one guy that I feel like between now and lock, if you just told me that I had to give anybody a boost on this team, I think he's the guy who at like sub 5K, shooting guard, small forward, have him at 26.5 minutes. If he shoots 50% from 3 for a game, which isn't that big of a outlier, obviously it's a tough defensive matchup with these wings for New York, but like, I think Malik Beasley's probably the guy that I'm like, oh, he could go out and win somebody a tournament. You go that direction and you get the Gary Trent game from him. It looks pretty smart.
Yeah, Beasley's just the guy where, he hits 3 threes in the first quarter and you're just like, oh shit, here it comes. Or he misses them all and you're just like, uh-oh, it's going to be somebody different. Like it all comes down to just, does that shot fall early for Beasley? And do they want to keep rewarding him with it? Let's see. Where does Beasley rank in terms of being a sole scorer? He is like the second. He's number 2 in my model in terms of percentage of his fantasy points that comes from just points. And the only person that's ahead of him is Doug McDermott.
Oh, Jesus. That's
so
wild.
He's number 1. There is no more scoring dependent DFS player than Beasley. Here's the top of the list. This is not going to be shocking to anybody that hears it. Beasley, Klay Thompson, Norm Powell, Duncan Robinson, Anthony Simons, Gary Trent. A lot of these names probably sound pretty familiar in terms of guys that only score and do dick else. But yeah, there's Beasley, top of the list. FanDuel a little bit different for this Pistons team. Cade still looks amazing, but Ausar Thompson is 40% owned on FanDuel today. He's 11 on DraftKings. Duren is 40% owned on FanDuel, 25% owned on DraftKings. Very different plays for some of these starters on the FanDuel side. The Ausar Thompson one scares me, but look, he's shooting guard, small forward eligible, 4,800. Like, that's really good flexibility, even in 22 minutes.
Yeah, I like Rui a little bit more than I like Ausar Thompson, and it just comes down to, I mean, Rui just didn't leave the floor last game, and that's kind of the main thing for me, where you look at what we're doing with Ausar Thompson, but like, Ausar Thompson gets in foul trouble every single game of this series. Eventually that stops happening, but I still don't know how involved he's going to be on the offensive end. I think FanDuel, it makes way more sense where you get a couple of those stocks that can turn into 3-pointers. That's obviously useful to have those stocks show up for him. It's also useful to, basically have a 4,800 shooting guard, small forward, as you said, to move around lineups. But I will say this, it doesn't feel good to have him be the 4th most popular play on FanDuel. You've got Duren and Cunningham above him on the same team. You can only play 4 Detroit guys in a lineup. I mean, I don't think I want to. I think those 3 are pretty clearly the only ones on Detroit pulling a ton of ownership. Tobias Harris is 6,400 over there. Not very enthusiastic about that one on FanDuel either. But I don't know what to say other than like, he just fits into lineups really well. Like it makes sense that he's pulling way more ownership there. DK, a lot easier to stomach the fade.
Let's talk through the Los Angeles Lakers, shall we? Unless you have anything else for Detroit.
Nothing.
Hit that like button, guys. That, I can tell you, will help us out tremendously. Lakers, 3-point dogs in Minnesota. Obviously, they need this one. Luka, sick in game 3, wasn't great. He's 5% owned today on DraftKings. Austin Reeves is pulling just north of 20. Rui's around 15. LeBron's at 10. Nobody else is getting anything significant, at least on the DraftKings side. This is the second lowest owned team, only behind Boston. I didn't get to much of Luka. I'm under on Reeves. I'm basically just neutral to Rui. I do not like the Lakers here, and my expectation is that they go down 3-1.
I hope so. Your lips to God's ears. But is there a chance Dorian Finney-Smith starts? 2-1.
I doubt
you
it.
Absolutely need it. Jackson Hayes plays a rotation each time and gets pulled out immediately. He hasn't done dick. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
It's not 0 or anything.
Yeah.
I tend to think that just because Gobert starts, Hayes plays a couple minutes alongside of Gobert, and then they kind of just stop caring after that.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, he's obviously the guy that's going to get yanked from that one.
Okay.
I could see that happening in game 5. I don't know if it happens here.
Okay. Yeah, it was more of just like thinking through the motions of like, would I even want to jam a starting Dorian Finney-Smith at his rates when we already have him projected for 33 minutes? He's around a 0.5 fantasy point per minute producer. And would people overreact in a way that they probably shouldn't if it were to happen? I'm just kind of like thinking through it. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson didn't actually expect that. Thought he would just end up sitting, but that makes our lives easier. Don't have to change anything. And the guys on the projections team that, obviously I want to slander from time to time, Mr. Josh Engleman. We'll be all set to go. But it's for me an interesting conversation about Rui. I'm surprised Rui isn't more popular. If people looked at the box score and you saw Rui Hachimura and you saw what he did, 19.5 fantasy points, 4,800. Obviously, that's not going to win you a tournament. It's not going to probably ruin your day, but 38 minutes. I mean, they just went full steam ahead with just all the Rui minutes. And you just get the opportunity to have Rui go out and do some things at 4,800. Like he 13, 5 and 1.5, like nothing crazy on the season, but that was in like 31.5 minutes for the season. You're sharing the floor now with Luka for a far more majority of that. So like your rates are going to come down alongside Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron. But man, it's really hard to pass up somebody who's projected for 34 minutes, has upside for 38, and just fits more into lineups in a way where like I wouldn't want to play Asar Thompson. And that was kind of the thing on FanDuel too. I know we got DraftKings up right now, but I think FanDuel, it's like even more interesting because they're like identical prices, and Rui is popular, but he's like 15% less popular, 10% less popular than what you've got for Asar Thompson. I'm just far more inclined to take the minutes.
Yeah, Rui's 30% owned on FanDuel at 4,700. Reeves is 30% owned there. This is where we actually get Luka, 10-6 on FanDuel, 25% owned. And then you get a little bit more Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah, I do think they're live to have Luka, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and Dorian Finney-Smith play like 40 apiece or more. And that could start in the second half of this one. I'd be surprised if it starts in the first half, though. But you never know. Look, it's JJ Redick. Like, I trust him to make moves that he thinks he needs to make proactively, not reactively. So, not out of the realm of possibility. And if that does happen, you're certainly feeling a little bit better about getting to more of Dorian Finney-Smith or Rui.
Okay. I'm just seeing if everything filled up on. I'm realizing that I want to play both sites today. So
go for it, man.
Hopefully it's not completely filled up. But
don't forget, guys, we're live on Playback right now as well. Playback.tv/Stokastic. We've got OddsShopper pulled up, sharing portfolio EV bets. We'll put the Knicks Pistons game on the moment this show ends and get that on for everybody if you want to watch it there. You can subscribe to our Playback channel and watch these games across the board. All 4 of them today. They'll be on. And if they're on a different channel or something for one of them, we'll get it changed for you today. I'll be around all day. I'm on projections, so you'll get the goods. You ready to talk about your Minnesota Timberwolves?
I sure am. I'm so proud of this team.
Well, I got a lot of your boy today. 25% owned Jaden McDaniels in 47% of my lineups, 5,400. Small forward, power forward eligible, ranks 2nd in the boom bust tool. You getting to your boy Jaden McDaniels today?
Yeah, after not having any, like a flat 0, and he goes completely nuclear, must-have piece. Only thing that I felt like really burned me on that last slate. Otherwise, I probably win a lot of things. But Jaden McDaniels is very, very good at basketball. He shot the ball 22 times last time, Josh. Like, where did that come from? Like, what are we doing? I think that is by far the most shot attempts he had all season long. I see a 21... one time. One other time he had shot the ball at least 20 times in a game, Charlotte back in March. But this is absurd what we're seeing from Jaden McDaniels. He is awesome. I mean, he's always been a very important piece for this team come playoff time because of what he can do as a defensive asset. him and Nickeil Alexander-Walker putting people in blenders. You have Dante DiVincenzo, who definitely showed up nicely in that last outing as well. I like Jaden McDaniels a lot more today, this time around. I don't think it's remotely close, just purely because Boston, I assume that we're going to get Brown and Tatum both playing here in this spot. And I think it just makes it easier for me to kind of get away. Small forward, power forward now. I mean, Franz Wagner's still 8,100, Paolo Banchero 9,400. We'll talk about them coming up next, but I definitely think Jaden McDaniels fits into lineups a little bit easier on this specific slate. And now we're kind of seeing like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo offensively. If he gets anything going whatsoever, he's going to play more minutes between the two of them. It can easily flip if need be, but the upside, I said it before, like there's no doubt that Dante DiVincenzo has the higher upside of the two. It's just simply like, can Walker walk into 30 minutes and have some utility? But now at 3,900, I don't really ever feel like taking that shot between the two of them. So Jaden McDaniels just fitting into lineups really nicely for me. Don't have a lot else to say. I mean, just play him. I'm surprised to see you lower on Julius Randle this time around. He's another guy I'm over the field on.
Yeah, ranking fourth in the boom bust tool, 25% optimal, 28% owned. This is another spot where I think he's just getting lapped by other power forwards. I think he's getting blocked by Giannis. I think he's getting blocked by Paolo. We still have Bobby Portis. Jaden McDaniels in this game I just talked about. He's just kind of because I like him and he grades out well and he obviously ranks well in our data. I think it just so happens that the position for today, he's just a little bit further back in the hierarchy.
Yeah, that makes more sense. He's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to envision a slate where I'm not going to get to him still at these kind of tags. 7,200, it's getting up there a little bit, but like he's still on the floor an eternal amount, been playing pretty well. 41 minutes last time out. He's fitting in easily for me. I have more of him than you do is basically all I'm saying.
I'm light on Ant, which I don't like, given I expect Minnesota to win this game. I had a big stand on Ant for game 3, which was really fun to see late. DiVincenzo, I'm a little lighter on, but I don't mind that. 40% owned, could easily lose a couple minutes to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I wouldn't actually mind having a little bit more of him. Gobert's just dead in this series. They'll bring him back to life after this one's over. And then Conley's just a value guy at 3,700. He's going to play 20 to 22 minutes. He's going to be okay. And I guess that's fine. But yeah, Jaden McDaniels, my takeaway here. 38 minutes. Look, like I don't like him offensively. I don't expect him to take 22 shots. The Lakers are going to let him shoot. Of all the players that are on this team, he's the one that they're going to leave free more than anybody else. You just got to hope that he knocks him down. Like he is out there to play as much defense as he can. And that's usually not a good sign for offense. But his price tag is MPE, the role right now. I think that's causing me to prioritize McDaniels a bit. These guys are very different on FanDuel. They only have 2 guys in the top 30, but Randall ranks first at 7K and McDaniels ranks 4th at 5,800. Those guys are both 30 to 35% owned. Everybody else is 15% or less ownership. None of them stand out from optimal rates. FanDuel is not the site to play Minnesota.
No, and Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, north of 5K there as well. It's not an ideal team to be getting to. We didn't talk about Mike Conley, though. I think he's the most uncomfortable guy for me on this entire team by a landslide. Like, I think we've seen Rudy Gobert. Yeah, you get away from Rudy Gobert in clutch spots or spots where you want to have Naz Reid out on the floor. You want to have Julius Randle out on the 5. Like, there's just so many ways that with the Lakers not really having a true big out there that they just can put Rudy Gobert in pick and roll and just do what a lot of teams have done to him in the playoffs. But like Mike Conley, I mean, how much did I even end up? I have 10% Mike Conley right now at 3,700 on DK. That is wild. Like that is a low number to be staring at for Mike Conley. And I think it's just more to do with what else I can play at that guard spot. And Kevin Porter Jr. coming up a little bit later. You know, if anything happens in terms of game script there, or, you know, if he continues to have that role even and just knocks down shots for once, Kevin Porter Jr. is a good fantasy producer. So like Mike Conley's just in a log jam. They are going to Dante DiVincenzo and Nickeil Alexander-Walker in a lot of those spots. Talked about it before the series. I was like, I just never see Mike Conley closing any of these spots unless it's just like going out there to shoot free throws specifically. But like, I'm not a big Mike Conley guy, but it is weird to now see a $3,700 price tag and basically undercutting the field on him because I don't know what else to do. Like you are looking at like a 25 point absolute tippy top ceiling. Your target scores 29 for him. So like, I'm okay being way, way under, I guess, and almost having zero if it ends up being the case. You're kind of holding hands with the field at the moment, but I'm going to rerun my stuff here. I had 10% in the last run. I'd be okay seeing that go to zero, but if he ends up having a good shooting game, plays 24, 25 minutes for whatever reason, I'd be pretty ticked off at myself.
All righty. Let's go to the Lakers. I don't know why I just said that. We already talked about the Lakers. We're through the first two games. Knicks and Pistons are done. Lakers and Wolves are done. We've got two more left to go. Celtics and Magic, Pacers and Bucks. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Oh, I'm on an MLB overlay right now, it looks like. There we go. Now we're back. I got us. Don't forget, you can sign up for the Portfolio EV tool for no cost whatsoever. 7-day free trial always. If you've never signed up before, link is in the description. We're sharing it on Playback right now. You could take a market-based approach to beating the books and the pick'em sites. Get expected value and expected win rates. Shop around to all the different sports books, mass bets, parlay builders, odds boost calculators, and more. And you can do it for sites like Prize Picks, Underdog, Sleeper, and Dabble. 7-day free trial. It won't cost you a single thing to come in and check out the Portfolio EV tool. Boston and Orlando, the least interesting game of today's slate, the least owned game of today's slate. 17% aggregate ownership for this one. That is 9% less than the second lowest owned game. For Boston, we are still waiting on news. Jaylen Brown is questionable. Drew Holiday is already out. My assumption is that Jaylen Brown is going to play today. If they had won game 3, then maybe he does sit here, but I'm guessing he plays. The problem here is that if he is in, two guys are getting ownership for Boston. 15% to Tatum, 15% to Horford. Everybody else is basically 5% or below. No one else has double-digit optimal rates. It's essentially the same story on FanDuel, only Porzingis is a little bit more interesting. But there's just no ownership coming into Boston. So much so they are the least owned team of the slate, and it's not close.
It's just impossible. I mean, Drew Holiday out already. It's Jaylen Brown questionable. And if Jaylen Brown sits, yeah, we get to play Peyton Pritchard at 5K. We get to play Derek White 7K. You get to play a ton of Jason Tatum at 9,200. But right now, not all that enthusiastic. I mean, the timing of that news is going to be the most fascinating thing because we'll have, I mean, at least for me, I'm trying to backload to some extent. I mean, I talked about Giannis. I like getting Giannis a lot. That shouldn't be like that big of a hot take. Tyrese Halliburton, 8,400. Lillard still getting to a little bit, even though probably shouldn't. Pascal Siakam still doing my thing with him. Like, I just have a lot of this Indy-Milwaukee game, and that could very much turn into Boston pieces. But it's in Orlando. It's such a low total. I mean, 196.5, 197 everywhere. Like, we're talking a really gross game environment. So even at 7K for Derek White, it's a tougher ask than, like, for me, it would be a lot of Tatum, Pritchard, Horford. I think that those would be the three guys that I probably want to get to. I don't know what to say other than, like, right now, Tatum and Horford are the only guys who should be pulling any ownership on this team whatsoever. And I don't even know what I would talk about other than, like, hey, if you want to play one lineup of chalk with everything and then Kristaps Porzingis, awesome. Fire it up. Call it a day. But, like, I can't in a million years recommend anything and just look at it and be like, oh, get to this guy because of this. Like, Jaylen Brown, even 0%. It's so wild.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. I'm neutral on Tatum and Horford. Now, if I had 5 to 10% of Derek White, Jaylen Brown, or Porzingis, I don't care. They're good. Like, if I have exposure to good players, I'll never mind. But I'm not surprised they're not showing up. It's a defensive battle. It's the lowest total by 12 points. Like, it's just not a good game environment. And I'm not surprised to see it this way. Now, if Jaylen Brown is out, then we're probably going to look a little bit more at Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. But with the assumption that Jaylen Brown is in right now, there just isn't much to talk about from Boston in specifics. And you guys know the names to click on. Like if you have a chalky, like you said it perfectly. If you have a chalky lineup and you want to pivot somebody with ownership to Derek White, by all means do that.
Yeah.
Like that, there's nothing wrong with that at all. He's just not like, if you start comparing these guys to the rest of the slate, they don't grade out as well.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be shocking.
And then they go and make 6 threes, and then you start victory lap and go right ahead. That's fine. Like we all understand that all 4 of those guys, I'm not going to even put Horford because Horford's just like $5K. It's basically salary and everything. But like Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis. Like if you just find a way to, find yourself onto it, you have 7,100 left in your lineup, and it's just the guy that you're clicking in. Sweet. You know what you're getting into. It's a low probability outcome, but there's definitely a ceiling and tournament winning upside with each one of them.
I wish I had more to say here, but I don't.
I don't either. This team's a headache, though.
They really are. I'm ready for this series to be over for them.
Yep. Let's
talk Orlando.
Going 7, and we'll just keep playing these slates until forever. I just need these games. Like I really hate Corey Joseph. I think that's my biggest thing is like Corey Joseph. Fuck this guy. 3,300, and I'm playing him. Like, why am I playing Corey Joseph today?
Pistons will start Cunningham, Hardaway, Thompson, Harris, Duran. Knicks will start Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, and Towns.
Cool.
I have 15% Corey Joseph, so I'd love for you to tell me why I'm playing him.
Oh, no. I've got him. I've got Anthony Black. I've got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I've got all the guys that you don't want to be clicking on, but I'm clicking on them. I even have a little bit of Jonathan Isaac, 4%. Probably could get to a little bit more. He's more popular than some of those guys I just mentioned and rattled off. But, God, Josh, I really don't want to play this Corey Joseph. It feels so stupid to me. He played 28 minutes. He played much, much better. Like actual basketball, they want him out there. He's so low usage. It just feels so disgusting. But he's going to play mid 20s minutes, high 20s minutes, and he is, projected for 25. You've got him in for 25 today, 14 fantasy points. But the 3,300 does a lot for you, man. And if you're going to play Giannis, if you're going to play some of the spend ups that I am here on the Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero side of things, you got to find Corey Joseph in lineups, and that's what I'm doing. So rip me, hate it, but what else am I supposed to do? And also, Anthony Black. I mean, we just saw this push and pull effect last time out. Anthony Black was 3,800 on the slate. Now he's down to 3,500. He only played 13 minutes, but like goes 0 for 4 from 3 last time. Knocks down a couple threes, spreads the floor, does decent enough. Like, I don't know. Can he walk back into 20 minutes again? He played 23 in game 2. I don't think I want to try to go crazy with that, but like between the two of them, Anthony Black, definitely the better fantasy producer. And again, not like either of them are pulling wild ownership by any means, but like yet I'm 24% Corey Joseph feels like I should be fired from this position.
How are you sifting through Paolo and Franz? Because I've got a much bigger stand on Paolo right now, but I certainly don't have any problem going to Franz now that they're only down 2-1.
Yeah, it's Paulo Banchero for me, but same thing with you. Like if they decided to make it Franz, like I don't know what to tell you. He looks great. They're doing everything for this team, the two of them together. I think you just play a little bit of both. And like right now, Banchero pulling a little bit more of the ownership. Like we have Bobby Portis, who's now out from where we were just jamming him every single slate. He's still in a quarter of the lineups. He's still in a quarter of my lineups. But like when you had Bobby Portis at 5K or whatever the shit he was, that was just eating up the position so much. And now that he's at 25%, we just have an opportunity to get to Banchero and play a little bit more. So I think it does make sense. Whereas like I was pretty neutral on both of them last time out. Today, it's just so much easier for me to see Paulo Banchero fitting into lineups because of Bobby Portis. Instead of being in 75% of my lineups, he's in a quarter of them like everybody else.
I am about to push a final projections and ownership update to the site. So I'm just working through that now. Do you have any other thoughts for Orlando? Wendell Carter Jr.'s minutes have been really solid as of late. They certainly have never going to Goga. KCP's out there for value. Gary Harris saw a couple extra minutes last time out. Are you getting to any other pieces here of Orlando?
Yeah, I guess it's not. I mean, I listed off like the entire team. The Jonathan Isaac one is interesting. 17 minutes, played a lot more last time out. From what I remember, there was a little bit of who was it that got in foul trouble? Somebody got in foul trouble somewhat in that game. It didn't matter with it doesn't even matter if Paolo Banchero gets 2 quick ones in this series. That was the funny thing too. It's just like finally coaches are just letting guys go out and play through everything in the postseason. It's like any minute you take Paolo Banchero off the floor, you're just doing your team a disservice at this point. So like 2, 3 fouls, you should just be playing him through everything here. So it's nice to see coaches go that direction. But Jonathan Isaac specifically talked to me because like 17 minutes was not in my range of outcomes for him last time. And now knowing that it's there, he had 18 and 17, 2 of these separate games in this series. That's traditionally been like a good playoff piece. Like he started against Cleveland in the postseason last year in a couple of those spots. Like game 1, he started against Cleveland. Like come postseason time, Jonathan Isaac can get dusted off here, but like 3,600 over a fantasy point per minute guy. There's a chance that I end up getting to more of him than I'm comfortable with if I try to artificially boost it or try to get away from Corey Joseph.
I got 11% of Isaac right now, so right there with the field. I do think that he could see a couple extra minutes. They seem to finally be pushing him. I think they're going to have him ready to be ramped up the moment this ends for Orlando. Is the way that this feels right now. Projections just hit the site. Ownership about to go up in a little bit. I'm just happy to be neutral. Like, I can see the path to him being a really interesting option. I can see the path to him just not getting those minutes once again because I think he's overrated. But
you think
to get a little bit of him now, I don't feel bad having a little bit of him.
You think Jonathan Isaac's a little overrated?
Sort of.
It's hard to be overrated if you don't play like 20 minutes a game. I mean,
well, that's the problem because he plays so. Because he plays so sparingly, I think like people look at him differently instead of just thinking like, well, I guess that's probably why he plays so sparingly.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Cole Anthony was the first guy who checked in for Orlando for what it's worth. And then it was Black, Harris, Isaac, and just going through this, like I can't imagine that I want to like play as much Corey Joseph as I have right now. I think that's just my major issue is like, might be something to just address. And obviously if Jaylen Brown, something happens there, it completely changes the entire complexion of the slate for me where, get to more Al Horford, play Jason Tatum, small forward, power forward, probably get to less of the Giannis that I have currently. But Wendell Carter Jr., last guy to talk about, we both like him again today. So that's basically all it is. 4,800 to 5,200, not enough of a change. Didn't even have like some evisceration, found his way into a double-double, which was useful to at least buoy it. Even though the $400 increase there, I really don't care. He's just 30-minute center. Center isn't all that valuable today. That's why I'm happy to pass on Duren early. And yeah, I'm just playing a lot more Wendell Carter.
Just pushed ownership as well, so that should be hitting in the next minute or two. Let's close this out. Final game, late night hammer. Pacers, 4.5-point dogs in Milwaukee, 226 total. Milwaukee got themselves back into this series last time out. Indy is going to have a little bit of a question mark. Benedict Mathurin is questionable for this one. I think that could make Ben Shepherd a little bit more interesting later on today. We're getting about 20% ownership to Halliburton and Nesmith, 15 for Nembhard, Siakam, Toppin, 10 for Turner and McConnell. You getting any stands to the Pacers?
Yeah. Always Pascal Siakam. I don't know what to do about it other than just play it and move on with my life. I just don't see a way to get away from it. 31 minutes last time out. You ran into a little bit of the blowout. Go Milwaukee. 28, 5 into like I felt pretty burned by that. I suppose like the top end minutes are still going to be there no matter what. So like is what it is. And Tyrese Halliburton's been doing everything offensively. It just feels too too clear cut for me to just keep playing Pascal Siakam at 15% in the playoffs against Milwaukee here. Sure, Giannis is awful defensive. Like, he's a fantastic defender. It's awful for Pascal Siakam to be going up against him here, but like 7,300, and he just continues to have all the usage going through him as well. We're going to walk into 36, 37 minutes in a game for Pascal Siakam sooner rather than later. I got to think it's coming. And 34 minutes for him today still looks pretty darn good. 1.1 fantasy points per minute. I don't know. I like him more than I like getting to Bobby Portis on the slate, which I never thought I would end up saying or have that be the case in this series based on where Bobby Portis's price was. But like, Bobby Portis keeps going up in price. Pascal Siakam, 7,300, playing tons of him. I'm neutral to Halliburton, neutral to evisceration, slate eviscerator, Aaron Nesmith. My dear God, what are we even doing there? But Obi Toppin's kind of interesting too, where he's 3,500, kind of the same thing. I think the reason that I probably won't do the Isaac thing as much as what I was anticipating is because we do have Obi Toppin there, 3,500. But
yeah,
I don't know what else to say about this team. Miles Turner's fine. You're a little over on him there. Yeah, I'm. Yeah. However much I get to him, but like a lot of power forwards in my center spot today.
Sims are fully updated right now. Projections and ownership heading into lock. We got about 11 minutes left to go. I am starting to run my stuff right now. Yeah, I got a little, I'm neutral to Nesmith. I'm neutral to Halliburton. I'm neutral to Nembhard. I'm neutral to Siakam. I'm neutral to Toppin. I'm a little over on Turner. I think if Mathurin ends up out, you can feel a little bit better about Nembhard, Nesmith, McConnell, Shepherd. I don't have any Shepherd or anything right now. These guys are just pretty cut and dry. I do like them in this game. I think they go up 3-1. So I do lean on like wanting to get to more Indy, but as the late game, they will naturally have slightly higher projections for me. They'll have the biggest bump of anybody. Indy and then Milwaukee, who is actually my most exposed team right now. If we look at these guys on FanDuel, Halliburton looks a little bit better. Ranks 10th, 35% owned, 30% optimal. And then you got about 20% to Nembhard. I guess he would technically be second. 15 for Nesmith and McConnell. I would lean Nesmith there. And then 10 for Siakam and Turner once again. I really like this slate, by the way. It's, to me, it's kind of difficult. Like, I don't think there's any spots that are really extra special targetable. So I'm hoping that late swap is the spot where you could like really find some extra value. I hope something breaks the right way for us there.
Me too. And I mean, I just went through and I gave everybody like an extra fantasy point in this game. It's kind of like a quick, easy way for me to backload lineups a little bit more. The Brown piece is the main thing that you're paying attention to. And now if that breaks a certain way, sweet, we could get Mathurin out. And then I think that would probably, I mean, I don't know if it like adds anything. Like Benedict Mathurin ends up out. What does that change for you?
Not much. Shepherd becomes a slightly better value option. Nesmith's minutes aren't going anywhere, barring foul trouble. Nembhard's not going anywhere. Maybe Jarris Walker sees a couple minutes at that point in time. It probably doesn't matter.
Okay.
But you feel better about any starters you have at that point.
There you go. That's kind of what I was getting at. 3K
right,
Shepherd
run
for the shot, maybe. But
let's talk about my most exposed team. And they look exactly like they did last time out. Actually, we got to hit super chats first. I'm sorry. I had a couple of them. Silent Assassin sent us a big one.
Oh my
What's up, guys? Just wanted to say thanks for all the help and content. Turned $475 into $3,600 in 4 days on FanDuel. Love the content. Let's kill it through the playoffs.
Dude, that's fantastic.
To be fair, Silent Assassin, not very silent, sending in a super chat, but that's great news. That's a very vocal assassin here.
He made enough money that he can blow his cover now.
There you go. You're getting out of the game. I get it. Debuff. Pick one at 4,500 for DraftKings. Dante DiVincenzo, Trent, or Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, Trent, Dante, Dennis. And I like all three for what it's worth, but Trent the most.
Nobody reacted. Trent, Dante, Dennis.
Nobody reacted to the starting lineup. It was fantastic. It was the best.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's Trent, and we're going to talk about him in a couple seconds. Final ones. Who are the pay-up options on FanDuel? Malcolm, apologies. That's a weird question because this is just a conversation about the guys that have the highest salary. That is super available to anybody that wants to look at it. The pay up options on FanDuel: Giannis at 11.8, Luka at 10.6, and then there's a lot of dudes in the 9Ks. Cade at 9,900, Tatum at 97, Paolo at 96, LeBron at 95, Ant at 94, Cat at 93. For me, the best one in all of that is Giannis.
Correct.
Speaking of Giannis Antetokounmpo, 20% owned on DraftKings, 11.8 power forward center, and the late game, he's in 47% of my stuff. 2xing Giannis, 2xing Trent, 2xing KPJ, over the field on Portis. I'm over on all four guys, and I wouldn't really roster anyone else from Milwaukee.
Yep. They're an awesome team to get to. Giannis, tons of lineups. I'd probably get to a little bit more Bobby Portis when it's all said and done. I mean, I just always have my thing with Pascal Siakam. It is what it is. Working through Gary Trent, he just fits into lineups so damn easily. 60%. He's my highest owned player right now. And then KPJ sitting right underneath that. I mean, they're backloaded, so we can react to Boston. And then you have salary that you can spread all over the place. Positionality that you can spread all over the place. I mean, Nesmith on the other side of this game, shooting guard, small forward. Gary Trent, shooting guard, small forward. Bobby Portis, power forward, center. Giannis, power forward, center. Like, this is just a game environment that's better than the other ones that we have here as far as what the total is, 226. We've got, as far as like upside and consolidated minutes, there's at least like Pacers. They have a number of guys that they can spread it out to. Milwaukee, it's starting to get a little bit more consolidated. Like, the one guy that I'm nervous about, and this is so dumb to say out loud, but like, does Kyle Kuzma have one good game in him at 4,400? Because he is 4% owned. Is it done? You got it done?
4-1.
Wow.
Mo Salah puts him up 4-1. I'm ready to convert to fucking Muslim.
Walk like an Egyptian. He's Egyptian, right? I got that right, at least.
He is.
Okay, cool. I'm getting my lineups in. So here we go.
You're good. You're good. I'm going to hit everybody with my exposures quickly because I got my final stuff done. And give you guys everybody that I'm massive on. You know what? While I get that ready, here it comes. Get yourselves ready, everybody. You know what's what. Nuke of the nighttime. It's in the books. I've got my exposures pulled up. I got a couple guys that I have 40% of that are all in the 20% ownership range. So I'm curious, where are you going for Nuke of the night?
Yeah, we'll go a little bit different for this one. I don't think center is a very good position today. In general, it's not all that good. Celebration time for sure. But it just makes way too much sense for me to just play tons of Wendell Carter Jr. at 5,200 today. I understand that this isn't the sexiest play, but like, we're comparing it power forward center Giannis, power forward center Bobby Portis, Randall. Like, there's a lot of those guys that are going to eat up a lot of my center position, but I currently have 45% Wendell Carter Nuke of the night. I mean, I'm way over. That's 3x the field. That's my biggest stand on anybody relative to their ownership other than Gary Trent. And I just didn't feel like nuking Gary Trent considering he just kind of nuked already. Feels like that's chasey. So I'm going Wendell Carter Jr. Nuke of the night.
All right. I'm going to do something unique for the first time. I think, well, at least for me, for Nuke of the night. I am going to give you guys, I'm going to go a little different. I'm not going to give you a one nuke. I'm not going to give you two nukes.
Oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah. I'm not even going to give you three nukes. I'm going to give four nukes. 4 nukes. This is the Mount Rushmore of nukes because I have 4 guys that I'm pretty equally taking massive stands on of 2xing them in the field. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Jaden McDaniels. It's Gary Trent. And it's Kevin Porter Jr. $3. Jaden McDaniels, the Mount Rushmore of nukes. Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
It's a lot. That's I mean, what happens when one of them fails? You're going to have everybody come at you? Or is it one of those things, if 3 of the 4 succeed, that's good enough? Like, what's the cutoff for threshold on what's successful and what isn't? I need to know.
Well, we could actually kind of talk about that. So technically speaking, Trent, Giannis, and KPJ total 79% boom. I'm going to say McDaniels is probably close. Only one of those guys is technically expected to hit their boom score. From a optimal rate, you'd only expect one of them to be in the optimal. A dream scenario for us is 2 of those 4 guys being amazing. If 2 of those 4 are, that's a win based on the math.
I suppose.
Joseph, that would have been good. I should have took the whole Liverpool squad as the nukes of the night. 5-1.
Oh, Jesus.
Tottenham, suck my balls, baby. The chip is, oh my God. Get me out of this show. 30 seconds to go. 5-1.
This is like unbearable. Please end the show.
I don't even know who scored yet. They're just telling me we did it. We're that awesome. It's just like we did it, but we don't know who it's going to be. Eric, tell everybody what you got going on right now.
Yeah, got a lot going on. MLB and NBA live before locks throughout the week. NBA and MLB Lindy's betting over on the OddsShopper YouTube channel. Come kick it and check out that. You can follow me at Eric Lindquist, throwing out home run threads, throwing out all the goodness for you as well. Hit the like button on the way out and enjoy the playoffs. We're going to have 4 games today. Let's go, Wolves. Please keep this going. It's been fantastic. Be the hero that Gotham deserves.
Enjoy your day, everybody. Basketball is here. I'll be in our Discord all day, updating projections and celebrating Liverpool being up 5-1 and being the champions of the Premier League. You'll never walk alone, everybody. Goodbye.